And it wasn't 6 million, it was 600,000. And they just said, well, we put the 6 million for our suffering. And so,
Is that why Hitler put the yellow star on them? To denote them as people of color?
Yeah. You see, and so so they had this problem for years all over Europe. They was getting kicked out all over Europe. Yeah. It's just that they created a final solution. Yeah. Because they couldn't really take the stage as this pure white Jewish race that they got these doggone niggas hanging around.
There's a good book that goes into it. It's called it's a good book. It's by a guy named Arthur Koestler.
13 Tribe.
13 Tribe. It documents how they came down out of the mountains, everything, and then doing some research that I was doing. I put it in my first book. I noticed that the Jews trying to trace themselves back to Shem, and they try to turn the word Semite into some sort of relation to where they are blood relatives of Shem, yada yada yada. But that's not where Semite comes from. Semite comes from the fact that they semi-black. They got a little bit of that black blood in them. So that's what the term anti-Semitism means is we don't like people that have that mud blood. And what they doing with the Harry Potter thing is they're trying to put that same thought process into the children in a fun way. You got the mud blood, you know, so you got the dirty blood, your blood ain't pure, yada yada, and then you see the purest blood is the yellow hair, you know, the blonde hair, blue eyes all over again.
Wow.
So that's that family fight they was going through, but basically, you know, that's the, give me some questions.
Right here, you talked about entities before, like becoming more apparent, like sometimes when you see things out of the corner of your eye, because it's like, I mean, I'm starting to get that more. I mean, you know, I live in a house by myself, so sometimes it kind of freaks me out, but I'm just wondering exactly how far is that really going to go? I mean, is it going to, are we going to get to the point where we can literally just start seeing other realms on like a regular basis?
That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the government is already seeing these things, and that's why they're proceeding accordingly. Obviously, there's something that opened up, a dimension that opened up in the last couple of weeks. So all this snow and all this stuff is to take your mind off of that. So yeah, but that's what's going to happen.
All right. Different dimensions and different planets, like you were saying before, are different energies, correct?
Yeah.
So being that this is the holographic, you know, universe, and this is the representation, when we start seeing different kind of peoples and that represent different kind of energies, does that mean that we are getting in touch with different constellations and certain energies, and they begin to manifest on this plane?
Yeah, well, they actually manifesting outside of you. The constellations and all that stuff is inside of us. Those are your cells, your DNA, your chakras, and all of that. So it's the inner universe what we're talking about, and that's just a projection from what's going on the inside of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the, because I'm starting to see people now, I study as much as I can get my hands on, because when people ask me, I tell them I know just enough to know that I don't really know that much. So I was looking into this guy named something Wiley. He teaches breatharianism, that you don't actually need food or liquid. You could just eat light or McDonald's cheeseburgers. See, that's what he threw me off at. It was like you could live off sunlight alone or McDonald's cheeseburgers. So it was just like I couldn't see that. But he teaches a lot about the fifth dimension, and now I'm seeing a lot of information coming through on the web outside of the breatharian thing, but just more, you know, specifically towards the fifth dimension. Could you touch on that?
Yeah, well, the fifth dimension is the dimension that we probably slipped into. We probably slipped into. Now, what it is, I want to say something about the breatharian. Basically, what it is, your body after a certain minute starts producing a protein. It's a form of DNA, and you eat from that. It's a form of melanin, and you eat from that, and that's why I said this summer when I stopped eating, but I didn't lose no weight. I mean, I trimmed down a little, but I'm saying didn't lose no weight. Is the simple fact was I'm eating from that protein, and that's what an actual breatharian does. He eats from the melanin produced in his body, and one of the key things with that is water. You just need water to activate the substances that's all over your body, and to go into the central nervous system, the central nervous system. So, so to get that going, you need water. Water is the key to life. That's what the whole doom thing was talking about. But now going back to the fifth dimension, we've pretty much we have slipped into it. But we got to go a little further. They're talking about an access of universe A and universe B. This thing is turning over to universe B. Right under the people who's ruling us eyes. You see what I'm saying? And universe B, you exist in a universe B. But what exists in the universe B is your glorified self. Your self has already become God. And for the mere fact you feel anything means you're already God over on that other aspect. So what happened was you had a world at first, when this world was young, that world became dismal. It's the amenta. And it became dismal, and it had a black sun. And it's an inner world, and it became dismal. Over the course of eons and millennia, that world now has built itself up into the kingdom of God and the kingdom of glorified spirits. And so you exist within that kingdom in that other universe. You see what I'm saying? And that universe, that particular universe, is using the energies from you to feed off of. But now it all over there is elevated. So your whole body is another you over there that's a glorified God.
Yeah.
And we getting ready to slip into it. They know it. Yeah.
Bobby, we got about 15 more minutes. So whoever got questions for this brother, you got 15 more minutes. There's also afterwards, the sister got some food outside left over for some of it's free or whatever. So shoot.
Yeah.
So is that what the 2012 thing is?
That's what it's really about.
Right. The
But
transition of
2012 is what they would like to get you. See, the only thing they're doing is trying to create fear. The 2012 is a consciousness.
Right.
So it's a consciousness that's getting ready to hit that even the people out here that's dead is going to come into. And that is the 2012 consciousness.
Right.
And from that consciousness will catapult us into that glorified self. Because it is the glorified self that is bringing the consciousness. We just are the first wave of it. You see what I'm saying? And the first wave of it, and how long we have been conscious indicates how long it is drawn up. So it's a whole nother world that is already activated, and we just own like the twinkling of an eye from coming. So it ain't gonna be no nothing physical we got to go through. We just gonna wake up from the dream.
They said the seals was opened in like the 70s.
Well, there's been things going on for a while now. There's been things going on for a while now, but I would agree that the 70s would also be the first wave of the baby boomers coming of age. And that's what we would be now. The people that you see in their 40s, late 30s, their 40s and the 50s and stuff like that. You see. So that's one aspect of it. But what we're talking about here is it's an acceleration period, and that particular acceleration period that they're talking about is now on the cusp. That's why. So if you notice now, when the UN came out talking about aliens. You see, when the UN came out talking about aliens, and Stephen Hawkins, their #1 scientist, came out talking about aliens. You see what I'm saying? They know that we are right there on it. And you know that they know that we're right there on it because they didn't speak highly of aliens. They're always saying that they would be hostile.
Right.
You see. But if you don't know that much about them, how are you going to predict something going to be hostile? You can't tell what's going to be hostile on the other side of town. You be getting that shit wrong. So the point I'm trying to make is